is up, everyone? Corn O'Keefe back yet again, and as the title implies, I'm bringing you Piccolo, aka the Super Namekian, versus the Super Skrull. And this fight was actually requested by Hamaisen Yunos. My apologies if I pronounced that wrong, but thank you for the request. And a quick note before I get started, I will be mainly using Piccolo from the original Dragon Ball Z anime, meaning the Saiyan Saga through the Buu Saga. So I will not be including his feats that he performed in Dragon Ball Super. I will be using guidebooks for Piccolo as well. And obviously, I'll be using the original Marvel 616 Super Skrull. So without further ado, let's get down to business. I'll go ahead and start off with Piccolo himself, starting with the attack power of Piccolo. As we know, even in the early Saiyan Saga, Piccolo demonstrated that he was powerful enough to casually obliterate the moon within a couple of seconds while still wearing his weighted clothing. This is very impressive, considering this feat has been calculated to require a little over 13 Yoda tons, which is enough to destroy a large planet. And a link to that calculation will be in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. Moving on, after merging with Nail on planet Namek, Piccolo became powerful enough to go toe-to-toe with second form Frieza. Keep in mind, second form Frieza is more powerful than his first form. His first form being powerful enough to casually obliterate planet Vegeta, a planet with 10 times the gravity of Earth, which has been calculated to require around 1.7 tenatons of TNT, which translates to be high dwarf star level. Again, this is only first form Frieza. Piccolo is going toe-to-toe with second form Frieza, which should put him around the small star ranges. Moving on down the line, Piccolo during the Android Saga fuses with Kami, aka God of the Earth, and becomes powerful enough to go toe-to-toe with Android 17, the same Android 17 who is capable of casually one-shotting Super Saiyan Future Trunks, who in turn easily beat Mecha Frieza, who is stronger than Final Form Frieza from planet Namek. And yet Piccolo, after fusing with Kami, was capable of going toe-to-toe with Android 17. So at this point, it's easy to say Piccolo should easily be around the normal star ranges. Piccolo would obviously go on to train even more, heck, go inside the hyperbolic time chamber, aka the room of spirit and time, and ended up growing powerful enough to hold his own against the Cell Juniors, who are in the same ballpark of power as Perfect Cell, who in turn absorbed Android 17 and 18, and isn't tremendously weaker than his Super Perfect Cell self, which means Perfect Cell, the Cell Juniors, and in turn, Piccolo should be around the large star ranges. And from here, obviously Piccolo continues to train up until the Buu Saga. Heck, in the Buu Saga, Piccolo felt comfortable with going up against Demon King Dabura, the same Demon King Dabura who is confirmed to be around the same level as Super Perfect Cell, and possibly a little stronger. And the only reason Piccolo did not get a chance to fight Demon King Dabura is because Dabura used his stone spit hacks to turn Piccolo into stone, which essentially bypasses conventional durability. Now, moving on over to speed. As mentioned, even in the early Saiyan Saga, Piccolo with his normal Ki Blast was capable of hitting the moon from the Earth within a couple of seconds, which is already relativistic to the speed of light, as it takes light 1.3 seconds to reach the moon from the Earth. Goku's brother Raditz was fast enough to dodge Piccolo's Special Beam Cannon, which is logically faster than his normal Ki Blast that he used to casually obliterate the moon within a couple of seconds. But heck, let's just lowball it and say it's the exact same speed. Well, as calculated by my good friend Benjamin Hellfire Productions, Raditz being able to dodge Piccolo's Special Beam Cannon from almost point blank range would put Raditz at least 28% the speed of light, aka relativistic speeds. This is impressive seeing as Piccolo surpasses this same Raditz after training to fight Nappa and Vegeta. Piccolo would go on to become much faster from here. Heck, in the Buu saga, it's safe to say Piccolo is at least comparable to base form Goku during the time skip between the Cell games and the Buu saga. You know, the same base form Goku who was heavily suppressed and was still fast enough to traverse the afterlife. The afterlife itself being bigger than an actual universe. This is because the planet Heaven alone is already confirmed to be about as wide as the universe, and it's inside the afterlife and doesn't even take up a big portion of the afterlife. And base form Goku did this in around 10 minutes, which has been calculated to be 4.38 quadrillion times the speed of light. And this is a level of speed that Piccolo during the Buu saga should definitely scale to, as this was only base form Goku who performed this speed feat, and he was heavily suppressed. In terms of durability, Piccolo's durability should definitely be comparable to his own attack power. Heck, throughout the entire series of Dragon Ball Z, we've seen Piccolo trade blows and take attacks from characters who have comparable attack power to Piccolo himself. And of course, the force that you can exert is also the force that you can usually tank. Now, moving on over to the Super Skrull. And just like with the Super Namekian, I'll go ahead and start off with the attack power of the Super Skrull. And for starters, we know the Super Skrull possesses the combined powers of the entire Fantastic Four, only amplified. Which means the Super Skrull should logically be able to easily perform feats that the strongest members of the Fantastic Four have performed throughout the comics. Such as the Human Torch, who is capable of reaching the temperature of an exploding star with his supernova. Or the Thing, who is easily comparable to the Grey Hulk, if not slightly stronger. And as we know, the Grey Hulk casually destroyed an asteroid twice the size of the Earth. And the Invisible Woman, who has been implied on multiple occasions to be the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four, which would put her above the Human Torch and the Thing, at least with her abilities. And as mentioned, the Super Skrull has her abilities, except amplified. Heck, this dude has even been able to go toe-to-toe with the Silver Surfer and the Asgardian God of Thunder Thor on more than one occasion and damage them. Looking over at speed, in terms of speed, the Super Skrull is fast enough to keep up with Thor and the Silver Surfer in combat and react to their attacks. The same Thor who is fast enough to travel between the 9 realms within a short period of time without the aid of the Bifrost, with the 9 realms being confirmed to be their own universes. And of course the same Silver Surfer who is fast enough to cross the entire Marvel universe within a few minutes, which has been calculated by my good friend Benjamin Hellfire Productions to be at least 5 quadrillion times the speed of light. In terms of durability, the Super Skrull is pretty freaking durable. I mean, heck, he is capable of trading blows with Thor and taking attacks from him, and has even tanked a combined attack from the Silver Surfer and Moondragon. Now that I went over the attack power, speed, and durability of both of these badasses, it's time for me to go over who should be taking victory more often than not, as well as some special abilities, skill, and hacks that both of these dudes have to bring to the table. And if I'm being completely honest, folks, I have to give the victory to the Super Skrull more often than not, and here's why. In terms of attack power, Piccolo in the Buu saga should at least be around the large star ranges, and more than likely solar system level, as he did feel comfortable with the idea of fighting Deborah. And as mentioned, the only reason he did not have a chance to fight him is because he was essentially caught off guard and turned to stone with Deborah's stone spit, which essentially bypasses durability, as mentioned. The fact that Piccolo felt comfortable with the idea of fighting Deborah in the first place implies that he's at least relative to the power of Deborah, who is confirmed to be around the same level as Super Perfect Cell, if not stronger. And Super Perfect Cell has been confirmed in multiple official sources that he's powerful enough to blow away the entire solar system. Heck, I've even heard arguments of Super Perfect Cell being high universal, aka infinitely 3D. And while I don't have Super Perfect Cell at this level, even if we said he was, and in turn made Piccolo that level, he would actually still be weaker than the Super Skrull. If you remember, the Super Skrull is powerful enough to go toe-to-toe with characters like Thor and the Silver Surfer, who are both on a Universal Plus scale, as they have consistently shown to be around the same level as the Incredible Hulk, who is powerful enough to destroy an entire universal space-time continuum, as shown in his battle with the Nameless One. Hulk is also powerful enough to hold the power of 2 universes. And of course, Thor, in his battle with another Thor, produced energy and force that was comparable to the Big Bang itself. And everybody I just mentioned has consistently shown to be on the same level as Marvel's Hercules, the same Hercules who easily held up an entire universal space-time continuum. So yes, the Super Skrull being able to consistently trade blows with Thor and the Silver Surfer and damage them would logically put the Super Skrull on a Universal Plus scale. And Universal Plus is above High Universal, as High Universal still involves the character destroying the physical matter within a universe, albeit infinite matter, but physical matter nonetheless. Whereas Universal Plus requires a character to destroy or recreate not only the physical matter within the universe, but the entire space-time continuum as a whole. And again, I myself am not claiming Super Perfect Cell is high universal. I'm just saying if we granted him that level of power along with Deborah and in turn Buu Saga Piccolo, then Piccolo would still be weaker than the Super Skrull. However, consistently speaking, Piccolo should be around the solar system level ranges in the Buu Saga. So any way we slice it, the Super Skrull has greater attack power than Piccolo. The Super Skrull would also have greater durability than Piccolo, thanks to him being able to withstand attacks from Thor and the Silver Surfer. Additionally, thanks to the Super Skrull being comparable to Thor and the Silver Surfer, he would also be comparable to Hyperion, who survived the destruction of 2 entire universes. In terms of speed, the speed gap isn't that big. Piccolo should be around 4.38 quadrillion times the speed of light, while the Super Skrull is at least 5 quadrillion times the speed of light. It is a small advantage, but an advantage nonetheless. However, you could get Piccolo to be even faster. You see, there are a couple of other calculations for base form Goku traversing the afterlife. These calculations were calculated by ssjryu, and one of them puts base Goku at sextillions of times the speed of light, and the other one has him at septillions of times the speed of light during the time skip between the Cell games and the Buu Saga. So if you find these to be valid and consistent, then you could argue Piccolo has this level of speed as well during the Buu Saga. However, if we're being nice to Piccolo like this, then we can also be nice to the Super Skrull. You see, being able to keep up with the Silver Surfer may actually put the Super Skrull at a much higher level of speed than any finite number. As we know, the Silver Surfer is actually fast enough to time travel thanks to his speed, and he has shown this level of speed multiple times throughout the comics, which means the Silver Surfer essentially has immeasurable speed, as his speed is not bound by the flow of linear time. And in turn, we could give the Super Skrull this level of speed since he was able to keep up with the Silver Surfer in combat and keep up with Thor as well, who has also consistently kept up with the Silver Surfer and blitzed him. Either way you go, the Super Skrull ends up being faster than Piccolo. In terms of skill and overall experience, Piccolo actually has decades of combat experience and trains daily in martial arts. Heck, he's one of the most strategic characters in the entire series. On the other hand, the Super Skrull has decades of battle experience himself, and has shown to be very creative with the use of his powers. So in terms of overall experience, I would have to say they're comparable. But I may have to give Piccolo the raw martial arts skill advantage, due to him training in martial arts virtually every single day. Piccolo also has a bunch of versatility on his side, thanks to all of his different ki techniques, being able to use the multiform technique. He can fly, has his regeneration, and even has the ability to stretch his arms, which is good for grabbing opponents who are at a long distance, and can also be used to wrap his opponents up. Heck, Piccolo can even make his body grow larger. And this is all very impressive. However, the Super Skrull has a lot of versatility going for him as well. The dude can use all of the abilities of the Fantastic Four. The Super Skrull also has good regeneration in his own right, and his regeneration doesn't drain his stamina like Piccolo's does. Yes, Piccolo can regrow fresh body parts like his arms, ears, etc., etc., but this drains his stamina a little each time he does it. Super Skrull does not have that problem with his regeneration. The Super Skrull also has the ability to fly himself. Super Skrull also has better stretching capabilities, thanks to having the stretching capabilities of Mr. Fantastic himself. And sure, the multiform technique could come in handy if it didn't actually split Piccolo's speed and power. Yeah, it may give him the numbers advantage in this fight, but he would also be making himself even weaker and slower. So all of Piccolo's versatility really doesn't give him an advantage over the Super Skrull in this situation. At the end of the day, Super Skrull has greater attack power. Piccolo does not have the necessary durability to withstand Super Skrull's attack power. Piccolo does not have the necessary attack power to break through the durability of Super Skrull. Super Skrull is faster than Piccolo, which will allow him to land more hits and avoid more attacks. He has better regeneration and versatility than Piccolo, and his regeneration and versatility are less harmful to his body compared to Piccolo's. Piccolo does hold the raw martial arts skill advantage over the Super Skrull, but unfortunately, the skill advantage alone is not enough to overcome all of the advantages that the Super Skrull holds over Piccolo. With all that being said, I think it's safe to give the Super Skrull the victory more often than not. But let me know what you all think down below. And before I go, I have a couple of things to say. I am starting to work my way down the list of requested fights that have been requested to me. And let me tell you, these requested fights are definitely coming in the future. I'm just working my way down the list as of now. So if any of you have any more requests, make sure to let me know down below, and I'll definitely write them down and get to them in the future as well. And the last thing, if you would like to see a rematch between Dragon Ball Super Piccolo versus the Super Skrull, let me know down below in the comments section. As always, have a blessed day, folks. Peace.